This program features the ministry of Pastor Gregory Phipps. Today's message is entitled Honor Your Mother. Since our programs are somewhat delayed, you may be hearing this program
and he had determined not to leave the building. And the people began to see it too. And we saw awakening in the church that I was serving at that time. And it was amazing. What really was amazing about that time, how irritated many of the They ran as fast as they could away from the original principles of the founding fathers of the movement. And that's what had happened. That's why those kids related to the grandparents. Their parents didn't understand. Their parents were of the generation that said, do what I say and be quiet. We've always gone to church, and you'll go to church too. But the grandparents, the great-grandparents, they knew the initial touch of Jesus. They knew what God had done. And And when God did the same thing with those young people, they got together and sang songs of praise. Your Christian faith funds your heritage. Think about that. Amen.
Thank you, Steve. That was Steve Brown resuming our exploration of Acts 16 and our introduction to a remarkable woman named Lydia. We'll continue from right
Lydia! Hello, Lydia!
Sing without you. So, what do you do for a living? I get that question on a fairly regular basis, and yet I always seem to struggle in answering it. The rub is defining ourselves by what we do instead of what we know means that our self-worth is tied to our performance instead of who we are as a son or daughter of God. Well, our good friend Justin Holcomb wrote about this in a special mini-book called Surprise, What Do You Do for a Living? If you ever struggle to understand your identity and value apart from what you do, we would love to put this mini-book into your hands for free. Just call us right now at 1-800-KEY-LIFE. That's 1-800-530-5433. You can also email steve@keylife.org to ask for that mini-book. If you'd like to mail your request, send it to Key Life Network, P.O. Box 5000.
Look, somebody with a big ass truck that don't know how to use a damn blinker. Guess I didn't use one either, huh?
8060 Waterloo, Ontario, N2L6J8. Just ask for your free copy of the
Church
mini-book
parking
called
only.
Finally, would you partner in the work of Key Life through your giving? You can charge a gift on your credit card or include a gift in your envelope, or join the growing number of folks who simply text Key Life to 28950. That's Key Life, one word, two words. Just text that to 28950. Key Life is a member of ECFA in the States and 4C in Canada, and as always, we are a listener-supported production of Key Life Network.
Facts with form of sound words, submitting all of life to our Lord Jesus Christ. This is Sound Words, featuring the pulpit ministry of Anniston Bible Church and Bible teacher Bob St. John.
The Bible does not pretend suffering is itself a good thing, but it does promise that God sovereignly uses our suffering for our good. Our pain prepares us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison. No truth is more comforting than God's sovereignty over suffering. Knowing that all tragedy occurs under His oversight gives our suffering eternal worth, equipping us for the kingdom service everlasting. Well, I also have
And you know, whenever I feel the crunch of my quadriplegia, the crunch of chronic pain, which I deal daily with, I think back to those darker days when I was in the hospital, so depressed, so discouraged. I so wanted desperately to be healed. When friends would come into the hospital to visit me and they asked, should we read anything to you from the Bible? I would always ask for John chapter 5. Please read to me from there. When I read it here, you'll understand why. For there is in Jerusalem near the sheep gate a pool which is called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, gee, if he thinks 38 years is a long time, I wonder what he thinks of 46. He asked him, do you want to get well? Jesus said to him, get up and walk. I cannot tell you how many times I would lie in that bed, straining to make my muscles move. And I would sing a hymn that I'd learned as a child. Savior, Savior, hear my humble cry, while on others thou art calling. Oh, Jesus, do not pass me by. But I never got up out of that bed and walked. And it seemed back then that Jesus had passed me by. I was released from the hospital. My sister J.K. invited me to come and live with her on our Maryland farm. And one morning while she was doing my get-up routine, bed bath, toileting, exercising, we flipped on the bedside television and there was an advertisement. someone was going to Washington, D.C. I can remember her, Catherine Coleman. Yeah. Well, for those of you who might not, she was like